There's one. Nice smallie. Now I love fishing a jerkbait. In smallmouth, it's hard to beat a jerkbait because it just really fires these fish up. But having the right rod is everything. And if there's one rod in my series that I think that I really have right, it's my 2 jerkbait rods. So I've got 2 different models. I've got a GC1 and a GC2. The GC1 is 6'8". It's got a medium heavy action, but it has a real fast tip to it. This is the GC2, and this is my go-to. It's 6'10". You know, I'm a little bit taller, so having a rod that's a little bit longer like that really helps me to be able to make a long cast with it. And this is what you want. You want to get them like that. I mean, I got this fish hooked every which way. I'm throwing a Strike King Deep Sugar Daddy colored KVD 300 series jerkbait. And, you know, that's just a good solid fish right there. This rod, though, has the right action, so it's really important to have the right handle length. You don't want a rod with a handle that's too long so it's getting into your stomach or your chest, and you don't want a rod that's too long overall so you're not hitting the side of the boat or the water. But the biggest thing is that tip. So you can see I've got, it's got a ton of backbone and it's got that tip to it, and that's what really makes that jerkbait dance. You know, for smallmouth especially, and warm weather jerkbait fishing, and this is a bait that I fish year round. You got to really make that bait jump. So you want to have that action in that rod. So when I snap it, I want that bait to really go. I match it with my KVD reel in a 7:5 to 1 gear ratio because I'm never moving the bait towards the boat with the reel. I'm always working it, you know, start with slack, snap that rod, and point it right back at the bait. You want to start and finish with slack in the line, and that's the key to getting that bait to really jump out there. So, you know, I've got this one set up right now with 12-pound fluorocarbon. I'm fishing like a 13, 14 foot deep grass edge with it, and this bait will get down, you know, I mean, it'll get down 10 feet pretty easy. When I'm snapping it this hard, it doesn't get quite as deep, but it really makes a difference, and I just try to make it as erratic as possible. You know, jerk it 2-3 times, pause, just, you know, let the fish kind of tell me. But that rod action is absolutely critical to making that bait work properly in the water. So this GC2, it's my go-to jerkbait rod. If I'm throwing, you know, the smaller jerkbait, the 100 series or the 200 series, I really like to throw it on that 6'8", on the GC1. It just really, it's really easy to work. It's a little bit shorter. I can cast it still real well. It's got a little more tip to it, and it makes those little smaller, lighter baits work real well. The other thing is both of these rods are my go-to target rod. So if I'm really tight, I'm fishing flooded bushes with a spinner bait or swim jig or something like that, I can really be super accurate with this rod. It's got a short handle. I can make precise roll casts. So it's the same setup that I use for throwing a spinner bait around tight objects, or even a jig, or, you know, around real tight bushes and things like that. You know, you can put braided line on there or whatever you need to do, but this rod right here is one of my, you know, all-time go-to rods. It's perfect for some of those medium-sized top waters and things like that. It's one that I use for a lot of different things. It's very versatile, but it is a dynamite jerkbait rod.